Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Otaku A-Team podcast. This is going to be the first official podcast of the main series. And this week we have everyone like last week, so we'll go by and introduce all of ourselves. So you can start out, Memory.
Memory here. You
All
guys
right.
know me. Yeah. Memory NK. Ooh, yeah.
All right, Blade.
How am I supposed to open up to that? That's Blade here. Okay, you guys don't know me, but I was here last time. I swear, I was that guy. Not that guy, but that guy. That guy.
That guy, okay. Yeah.
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 And I'm Jester, so hello everyone again.
All right, and I'm our host for tonight. I'm Habit. So we'll just get this started with the first topic, and we're going to be talking about what we are currently watching this season and our opinions on this season. So the first one we're going to start out with is Erased. Everyone has watched this one, so Memory, you can start it off with your opinions about the series if you want.
Okay, erased. 9.14 on Mal. Yeah. I I definitely agree with it being overhyped, but you cannot deny how freaking good it is. Just the whole execution of the show, the cliffhangers, the atmosphere, all really good, and I like the characters. Even though they're the what the fuck was that? The characters aren't anything special, but they're like solid enough to where like I'm not, cringing.
All right, fair
But
enough.
yeah, that was really weird in the way.
I had a laugh. It came out of nowhere. You're like, what the hell was that?
That was my phone going off. I apologize.
All right, Blade, your turn now.
You know what's funny? When I watched the very first episode of Erased, I loved it so much that I actually went and had to go watch more of it. But I'm like, well, the only first episode's out. So I went and read the manga for it, and I was just in love with it. I mean, I agree that I don't think it's the, revolution of anime, like this, the new second coming of anime. But I think it's very good. I really do like the story and plot. And I actually particularly care for the concept of how they do the time traveling concept of it. They don't really make it overly cliche.
Yeah.
They try something very different with it. So I really do. I do dig that, and I do also really like the characters for it. I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of Erased. But yeah, I agree. I think it's a little overhyped at times. I do
Yeah.
agree with that.
It should not be a 9.14.
No, it really shouldn't. I mean, if it was like, I mean, right now, if I was reviewing it off of what it is, it's like probably an 8.5, so 8.5.
Yeah, it's gonna. I have it between 8.5 and a 9.
Right. So but like,
And I see it dropping when the season's over.
Yeah, because I mean, so far with how it's going in the manga, at least, because the manga's way further than the anime, it's starting to hit that point where it's like, it's not doing as good as it was when the beginning started of it, so it's losing that appeal for me.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just because I already foresee it that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, okay, this drops now. It's going to be like 8s, 7s, and stuff for a lot of people watch when it hits that certain point. But
Yeah.
right now, it's great. Right now, it's great.
Is the manga still going, right?
Yeah, the manga's still going. It's nearing its climax.
How many like chapters or how many volumes is it supposed to be?
I honestly don't know because I mean I forgot the exact numbers right now. I think it's what 40 or 50.
Yeah, because I saw something like we just had episode 8 of Erased, and I heard the manga is like there's still a lot more left to go.
Well, right now,
Supposedly.
what's this is not spoiling for anyone, but it's actually where the main enemy has kind of come back again, and he showed his face, and now he's actually directly with everyone. So I'm
So
not
that's
saying
where it's at in the manga.
right. So now it's
Okay.
like he's infiltrated their group of people, and it's going to be
Huh.
really interesting what happens with that. But yeah.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
because sorry, Habit.
No,
But
no.
with how like episode 8 ended, like with the mother telling the teacher, which I've always suspected the teacher, like the mom telling the teacher that Hinazuki is with them, that was just like, what are you doing? Like even though the mom was like MVP of the episode, she told the teacher literally where she is now. So
And
that's why I'm kind of suspicious. I've always been suspicious of the teacher, but like
And what I was
yeah.
to say, by the way, and I don't mean to interrupt you, is that I think it's gonna be funny because I know a lot of people say it's only gonna be one season long. I highly doubt that because I mean, what's the one season? The first season is gonna be 12 episodes or
Yeah,
13?
12.
All right.
I could see another 12.
Right, it's gonna
Yeah,
have to because right
same.
now where they at compared to the manga, I could see it actually completing once it's like 24 episodes in, but right at 12 episodes, no, it's not gonna do it because where they're at right now with the teacher and all that stuff like that, compared to the manga, the manga's
Yeah, they
way
would have to rush the hell out of it
yeah,
to
and
finish
I
it,
mean, it would kill the story.
and we don't want that.
So
But like I heard the mangas or the anime is going to adapt the manga's ending.
Right, so I
It's
could
going to
see,
be like similar, like yeah, they're going to
yeah,
try to like get it spot on.
but you heard it here first. If there's no season 2 of Erased, you can go hate on Blade. It wasn't us.
yeah, yeah, hate me. Just send the dislikes to my reviews of it. Be like, oh, I hate that guy. He lied to me.
All right, so Jester.
9.14. Like it is above Hunter x Hunter, and I seriously
It's
can't.
the
Like,
end of the world.
yeah, it is the end of the world for me. Like, okay, so like it will happen most seasons. There'll always be that one gem that will just like overlook most of them. I'd say,
One Punch Man.
like yeah, last season, whatever, right? But like where it's gonna decrease. But for now, it's great. I love Ray's, like the characters are great in this. Like, it's so good, but it doesn't deserve where it's at right now. Like
Yeah.
top 5, that is absolutely ridiculous in my
Mhm.
opinion. Like people are
Right.
going way too overboard with this hype train of a race. Like sure, every episode's great. It has you on the edge every episode, but it can't compare to things like Hunter x Hunter, Steins Gate. I mean, I haven't seen them, but like obviously where they're at now, they obviously deserve it because they've been there for
Steins Gate's
quite a
good.
while. So
Steins
like
Gate's
Steins Gate, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't compare up to those. It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
if it touched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, then like it's already a little bit like set me off. Not so much, but like if it comes anywhere, it's kind of already close to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. But if it like touches it, like that 9.25, whatever Brotherhood's at, like I'm
Yeah.
gonna lose it, dude.
Yeah, I'll
Mate,
be
like,
pissed
it
off,
is-
'cause, I mean,
It's only
okay.
like just halfway past, so it's like we've still got a few more episodes left, and it is
yeah.
gaining like 1 or 2 like points
Every
episode. So it's
Yeah.
like it could be there eventually. Like, and that is ridiculous. That is absolutely pathetic. I think people
yeah.
need to just chill out a little bit, just calm, like simmer down,
Yeah.
and just stop giving it this high rating because it's definitely not worth it. But as I say, I do enjoy Erased, so that's my.
And I'm gonna
Yeah,
say,
I
it
think
can-
we
it
I
can
think
de-
we
I'm
all
sorry,
can.
Zimmer.
Yeah, you're fine. I think we all can agree like that we like it, that it's good,
Right.
but just like the hype for it is like through
Too-
the roof. Like
Yeah.
it's like reaching to the heavens.
Well,
Like
that's what I'm saying. Like you can't compare it to Steins Gate. Like I mean, Steins Gate is an amazing kind of time traveling story,
mhm.
and I mean, Erased is great. Don't get me wrong, but Steins Gate, if they were really on par with each other, you have a mountain which is Steins Gate, and then you have like a little tiny pebble which is Erased. Because I mean,
Yeah.
those stories are just vastly
Uh-huh.
different and superior as Steins Gate. But I would get so pissed if someone told me like, "Oh yeah, Erased is way better." Oh, I'd flip out. I'd be like, "Nope,
Yep.
we're gonna throw down now. We have to have some words."
Yep. So my opinion on this is kind of similar to what everyone else was saying. It is a good series, but in the end of the day, I don't really think everyone should be jumping on the bandwagon and giving it a 10 on Mal. It's just, it bothers people when it raises the whole thing on Mal to the extent where it's going above Hunter x Hunter and stuff like that.
Right.
And you don't know where it's going to go. Like, it could just end off with the season 1, never come back with the season 2. I mean, they could just ruin the series at the end. They could just rush it. There's a lot of unknown variables that can happen within the like next episode. So I don't really think it's right to rate anime like that. You can give your opinion, but once you go on like Mal and actually like dedicate yourself to like a ranking or whatever, not to say you can't change it, but I just think that's a little bit crazy.
No, I agree with you, man.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, so we'll
on.
jump into the next one, and it's Grimgar. Everyone has seen that as well, so we'll start off with memory again.
Grimgar, I hear all the time that it's slow. It's the most boring thing on earth. It's an SAO copy. It's a poor example of living in an MMO world, and I totally disagree with that. This is like I've watched a lot of anime that have that MMO, you know what I'm saying, like the MMO feel, that MMO vibe,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And Grimgar is like the one that has had like the realest take on actually living in an MMO world. Like it is
Yeah.
like as realistic I think you can get with
Yeah.
it, even though it's an anime, like it's the most realistic you're going to get with the MMO like anime. Just the how you have to level up, the abilities, the trading, the buying, the how you just don't wreck everything, how our characters don't just jump into this world and wreck everything. They're fighting
Right.
these goblins still, and we do have some more creatures coming finally,
kobold.
but they've been fighting goblins this whole time, and you see them go through the struggle like with Monato and what happened there, and it's real, man. It's in the don't even get me started about the visuals, the OST, which I say is the best OST of the season.
Mhm.
And Grimgar is just beautiful, and I don't like. I get how people say it's like slow and it's taking like a while out the story and all that, but I don't know. I just feel like I can sit back, relax, and just enjoy like the amazing character. Even though it's slow, it's I can
Is
live
memory
with it.
cutting off anyone else?
A little
No.
bit. It's fine though.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. I was wondering why you were like cutting out. I was going crazy. I'm like, oh no, am I the one getting cut off? Oh god.
No,
no.
it wasn't that bad though.
No, I still heard him.
Did you still hear me fine?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you can continue unless you're unless you
That
put
was
your
my
point across.
that was it.
All right,
And Grimgar.
all right,
All right.
Blade.
You know what's funny? Gar is somewhere in between good and okay. You know, one thing I'll agree with people is that I understand the slow aspects of it, but you also have to understand, and I tell people this, that there is kind of a reason for it. I mean, if you've ever played Japanese RPGs or any RPG in general, don't you remember the days where you have to fight the slimes or you have to fight the little,
Yeah,
sheep enemies over and over again so you level up? I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of how that works. You have to fight the same creatures. 7 episodes in, because that's how far we are. I kind of wish they would kind of now go to something else, because I mean, you can only fight sheep and slimes and stuff like that, or goblins, so long before people do lose a little bit of interest. So I understand the point of people saying that. Now, if it's anything a copy of, I don't agree at all. Like I agree with Memory that it's nothing like Sword Art Online. It's close to Log Horizon, which I don't know if you guys have seen Log Horizon.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Log Horizon was very similar in the sense that it built up this concept of an economy system where when they first got there, they were overpowered already. They were using the avatars from like level 150 plus, so they were still overpowered. But they had to relearn how their systems work compared to the real life elements, because they were now playing inside the game, so they had to like actually use their hands to make movements and the magic effects and all that. Then you have the economy system come into play where it's like how much money this cost or how much money that
Log Horizon did a freaking wonderful job with that. Just like the whole politics and economic standpoint of everything, like the round table.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like there's a different take to the kind of genre they're in.
Right. Yeah. And Log Horizon, I give crap to the second season because I think it's too much of the same. I love Log Horizon.
No, the second season isn't really that good.
Yeah, the second season
absolutely
is just...
nothing happens.
Exactly, and they start focusing on characters you don't care about. That's the ironic part. You start going to...
They may as well have just made a movie out of the second season instead of like 25 episodes or however many there were, because like there was literally a fight at the beginning and a fight right at the end. What's the point of the in between?
No, exactly.
Can't forget the little kids, man, going on that adventure over
there. Yeah,
but it wasn't even that good though. Like
I know it wasn't. It wasn't.
Not to deviate too much from Grimgar, but that was so bad that you have these kids that are uninteresting already to begin with. I mean, their story at the beginning was interesting because it was something that you can probably see happening, unfortunately. Yeah. But later on, it's like they weren't strong enough characters to be on their own adventure. And here you have them now as the center characters for several episodes. Everyone else gets pushed to the side. And it's like, this is not fun to watch. It was annoying as crap. And then they're talking about raids constantly. I mean, I can go on all day about Log Horizon too.
But the question is, would you guys like to see a season 3?
No.
I mean, just maybe.
I think I would. I think I would, or maybe like a movie, like you said, like touching more on the members of the debauchery tea party. Like
Just
those
after
members,
season 2, I
like
just can't.
the old party that Shiro was in, they like never dove into that. They
No,
always
exactly.
talked. Yeah, they always talked about it like very rarely.
But the
Like it was
problem of the
brought
day
up.
is that you could probably do that in OVA. Like you could make a side
Yeah.
OVA talking about those episodes.
Yeah, just like maybe like a 12 episode third season or a movie or just a little OVA series. I don't know. I would like to see that because they never touched on like the old Tea Party. Like they did it like very very briefly in
Exactly.
a couple episodes, but yeah.
But and I know I got away from Grimgar, but the whole
No,
concept
but
is
this
that
has to do with
no,
Grimgar
it
because
does. It really does.
these are the comparisons it draws to like SAO, Log Horizon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have Dot Hack, which Dot Hack was a similar
Yeah.
concept too, where you had brand new characters. I mean, like Dot Hack GU or Roots, as the anime is called for it, that had a character who was overpowered in the beginning, essentially becoming a character again at level 1. So that means that was very similar to that concept too.
Yeah.
But you know, people compare like, and that's what I'm getting at with this is that people compare all the time to like Sword Art. Oh, this is Sword. You know, there's other anime besides Sword Art. There's Dot Hack.
Yeah.
There is Log Horizon.
Especially because Dot Hack is like the one to really, I guess, put that genre out there on the
Exactly.
map, kind of.
It was one of the first ones to start. I mean, I talk about it now because it's kind of boring. Like the first season of Dot Hack Sign, I loved it when I was younger. I think it's boring now.
Yeah.
But you can't say Sword Art is a copy. Or excuse me, you can't say that Dot Hack is a copy of Sword Art when it's vice versa. That came out way in the past compared to that.
And most people don't know that. They're like, "What's Dot Hack?"
Exactly. That's the sad part. But you can't like do your research first before that. But
like I never watched the anime, but I played the games.
So did
believe
I. I
it
love the
was
games.
on PS2 or PS1.
Yeah, PS2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I played it when I was like a kid, and I was like a blast.
Yeah, it was great games. I really loved
Yeah.
those games. There were 4 of them too, and plus the GU ones, which were great too. But
Yeah. I think there's 8 in total, including the GU.
GU, yeah, it's because it's 3 games of GU. No, it's 7, I think. total.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Overall, though, Grimgar, my anticipation for it is that it will speed up a little bit toward the end. I hope that happens because I mean, if they keep focusing on the way they're doing it now, it's going to lose its. Even the viewers that like it for how it is right now are going to be like, well, this is kind of getting boring because I mean, it is suffering from that. I love the characters. I love the art. I mean, the art is beautiful from Grimgar. I agree with 100% that the watercolor stuff that they have in the background is just phenomenal. The characters themselves are nice. But I just think overall that they need to kind of speed up a little bit with this whole beginner stuff because it's going to be then essentially the first season is just them starting off and fighting goblins for 12 episodes. That's I don't know. That's my opinion on it. I mean, I know other people have other opinions for that, but
Yep.
that's it for me.
All right.
I think it's going to speed up a lot more, to be honest, because they're already at that stage to where, from the beginning, they were only like they literally had to have all of the members just to kill one little goblin. And now that, they're going around killing like 3 or 4 at one time. And they're doing a pretty good job now. So I think, they'll continue on with Mary and it will all get better. I mean, the last 2 episodes have been really good with Mary now. I used to, didn't like her when I first saw her, obviously.
Oh, I
like her
agree.
attitude and everything was like, nah, this isn't
Yeah.
one of the good
Where's-
characters.
where's
But
their
when you
Ranta?
learn,
Yeah,
you learn
her whole
about her,
backstory.
yeah, when you learn about her, it just gets a lot better. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I was like a lot of the other people at the beginning. I was like, this is really slow. I almost dropped it. Like once like episode 4 and 5 were coming out, I didn't actually watch them until like later on. But
Right.
I didn't drop it, and I'm glad I didn't drop it because it is getting really freaking good. And if you're not watching this, I think you should, to be honest,
I
because
agree.
it's a really fun series. And yeah, that's all I got to
Yeah,
say.
they've progressed a lot.
Yeah.
Just like, and it feels like slow, but just seeing how much they've progressed, it's like really intriguing.
Well, yeah, with the
Yeah,
new
it's-
skills now they
yeah.
have and the
And,
content.
It's
and the
like-
new armor and everything too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
guess.
just not like those other ones where you start off like overpowered and
Retail.
you're wrecking everything in sight as soon as you get into the game. Like I don't have a problem with like Kirito and all that, but like it's just a nice thing to see,
Yeah.
just starting off,
I think
But-
we
Yeah.
could see like a second season of Grimgar too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Yeah.
I was like,
Because
I
we're
couldn't
about to
see
hit
it not.
episode. Yeah, we're about to see it episode 8, and we're just getting introduced to another type of creature.
Can I
Yeah,
say one thing? I really don't think that I know people are saying it's gonna be a video game and all that, But what if it's not a video game? Because I know everyone's saying that, but what if it's like just some kind of weird fantasy concept? Because they haven't hinted so far at any point that they were playing a game or if it was based off a game yet.
Yeah, but you get kind of a feel that they know they're not where they're supposed to be. Like there's multiple scenes where they try to remember things from where they were from or
Right, like the
something
cell
like
Yeah,
phones,
that.
the airplanes,
they'll
all that.
say a word. They'll say a word, and they'll be like, "What is that?"
The
Yeah,
airplane.
Like, they
or
can
So
say
why
airplane one
they were
episode.
like,
Yeah.
why did I say that?
Yeah,
Like,
they can say
Right.
the word or say like a sentence or whatever, and they'll just be like, "What does that mean? Like, what did I
Well,
just say?"
Right, I know they're from
yeah.
the real world. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that they could be from like it doesn't have to necessarily be a video
yeah,
game. It could
like
be
a
just some
different
kind of
world
fictional
maybe.
world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd actually love to see that. Definitely change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
My look behind it though is I feel like they really kind of made a ballsy attempt for this anime series, especially with the art style. I feel like a lot of people would stray away from that kind of like hand-drawn looking
Yeah.
style.
Yeah, I
It was
agree
like
with
a
you.
hit or miss.
Yeah,
Kinda.
and it puts a kind of like mysterious feel to the whole series. I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of
No, I
makes
agree with you.
you feel like they're put in a different environment than where
Oh,
they
yeah.
belong.
No, I agree
Definitely.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but I could definitely see it going off to being at least another season. I honestly could see it being something kind of similar to Dot Hack, maybe not reincarnations, just more seasons.
Mhm.
Oh, like different season types, like where they focus on other characters and stuff like that.
Not that, just having
Because Dot
more
Hack
than
is what
like
does
two
that.
seasons.
I
No,
don't
but
know anything about like the source material of Grimgar, but like there's a lot of possibilities like they could like do with the series,
Yeah,
like if they
I can't
wanted
remember.
to.
Wasn't it is it an original or is it made off of like a game, I thought?
I have no idea either. To be honest
I
with
think
you.
it's a light novel.
Oh,
That
is it
might have
light
been
novel?
what it was.
Yeah, it's a light novel, and A1's doing it, so that would make sense.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
let's say Dot Hack, one thing about Dot Hack is that like, Dot Hack always has this notorious thing where it focuses on two characters, like for example, Kite and Black Rose will say,
Yep.
and then goes to an whole season where it's focusing on different people entirely. It
Mhm.
never has really continuous seasons
Well,
with
yeah,
the same
Oh,
characters.
but Kite and all of them kind of are main the main thing behind
The main
Dot Hack,
avatars. Yeah,
especially because a lot of them it's kind of like it's not a reincarnation, so to speak, just because of it being a game, but their avatars or whatever are like handed down pretty much through a lot of this series.
sometimes, yeah. I mean, like for because I'm a huge Dot Hack fan. The Twilight one, which is focused on Shugo and his sister Rena.
Yeah.
That is where they win the Kite and Black Rose avatars via like a contest, but really
Yeah.
it's secretly because he has the ability to use Kite's bracelet. But you have in Dot Hack Roots you have Triad, who is based off of Aura's making of Kite, but in a creepy way
Yeah.
because she really
Mhm.
can't create him perfectly.
But I think it all comes down to Kite, kind of. I mean, there might be different people, but I feel like the whole concept behind it is kind of based on them, I guess, if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the possibilities, like what they could do at Grimgar, if it is like a fantasy world or something like that, like I think it's like expansive. Like they could do a lot with the series, but I don't know anything about the source material, so
Yeah.
Nor do I.
I just don't
Light
want to
novels
see.
scare me when it comes to
yeah.
it. They
I
really do.
don't want to see like a cop out like on Sword Art Online where they make parts of it in real life and like stuff like that. Then I feel like it's going to be kind of weird. Like regardless if they're in a game or in a different world, I don't really want to see them go back to their world and watch a bunch of episodes of them back in their world, if that makes sense. I mean, I want to see them like if they're in a different world eventually get back to their world,
Yeah,
but
that would be so awkward though,
I
just because we
yeah.
know like this world they're in, and just I couldn't even like imagine what their real lives are like
Yeah, but
You
like
know what's
in
gonna
the
happen
in
though.
the real
You know what's
world.
gonna happen. They're gonna like have some like flashback of all of a sudden being in like a train or,
But
walking
what if
around the
just
city.
something happened and they're like actually like living in their like real world, and it's
Oh,
not
like
no and it's not another world. They're just like something happened to where they forgot like everything.
that'd
like so
be
like they're in suspension or some sort and they're just
Yeah,
yeah.
being fed images.
That'd be a kind of an awesome twist to it, to be
yeah, it
honest.
would.
What's funny though? It's been done in older stuff. Like there was a series, like an old series called Megazone, where they thought they were still in Japan, but they were actually in a spaceship the whole
Huh.
time. And one thing I loved about that was like, for example, if you went to take an airplane out to like the U.S. or something, because they were in Japan, what they would do is they would knock you out when you're on the airplane itself, put you in a simulated concept where you think you're now in whatever state you're going to, and then when you get back, you're like, oh man, that was a good trip. Realistically, you never left the airport. You were always in a plane the whole time. I love that anime. That was actually great. They were like movie series, but
Mhm.
it's been done before. But I would actually like that though, because I actually always
Yeah,
thought
it would
that
be
idea was
an
interesting.
interesting
A
sort
little
of thing.
Matrixy, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot they could do with this series.
Oh, there's a beautiful amount they can do with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go on to the next one. This one I actually have not watched, but Memory, Aaron, and Jester will talk about it. So this one is Ajin.
Ajin, a lot of people with the CG, a lot of people are scared to watch it.
Yeah.
I think Habit being one of those people, but
Yeah.
a lot of people are like they stray away from it because of the CG. And I'll admit the CG is pretty choppy. And I was kind of surprised to see how choppy the CG was because the same studio Polygon Pictures that is doing Ajin did Knights of Sidonia. In Knights of Sidonia, the animation, the CG in there is like perfect. Like it is so fluid and so smooth. And then you don't see that with Ajin. So I was like, that's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
it's
But
choppy.
yeah, but the story of Ajin just totally makes up for the sketchy CG, in my opinion. Like, I can overlook the sketchy CG because of just how intriguing and how amazing the story of Ajin is. And I love the characters. In the Black Ghost, that fight in the newest episode, I don't know if you guys, all of you watch, I think Travis did.
On point.
Yeah, that was actually pretty damn sick. Like
Yeah.
they did that pretty good, and I wish it would stay like that throughout the rest of the series, but I find it highly unlikely. But yeah, Ajin, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying
Yep.
it.
And we'll go further in depth later on in the podcast with the next topic about our opinions on CG and such. So
Yeah.
I'll touch on that
Oh, that's gonna
then.
be fun.
Yep. So, Blade, you can say your opinions on Ajin.
I agree. Ajin is to look at is horrifying. It's I wondered when I first saw it if it was gonna be a horror anime just because of how choppy it looked. Because it's not that I have issues per se with any CGI. I because I've watched a lot of CGI stuff. Like I've watched the Berserk movies, which are all CGI.
Yeah.
I've tried, and now I'm trying to think of it, and I can't think of it. But I've seen a whole bunch of CGI stuff. Oh, Knights of Sidonia, I also watched, and I thought that was very good. But it doesn't really bother me if the art's like that per se. But yeah, Ajin was hard for me because I'm like looking, I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? Is this 2015 or 2016 art? What?
Yeah, I've seen some screenshots. It's definitely kind of iffy for me.
Right, and that's unfortunate because Ajin as a whole is something amazing story wise. It's never been done per se that at least on my knowledge, I've never seen something where you have these like weird creatures that are either possessing their victims or becoming one with them, and then now they can be hit by cars, they can be hit by bullets, and they just come back to life like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing.
Yeah. And like what's interesting with the Black Ghost, I don't know if it's with all of them, but Kay, like the main character, his Black Ghost has a mind of its own.
Right.
So
it
like
actually talks.
Yeah, it has a mind of its own. Not
It mimics it
necessarily
too, though.
how Kay is feeling all the time, but I just when I found that out, I was like, this Black Ghost has a mind of its own. Like this could set up for some crazy shit down the road. And that's what is happening. Crazy stuff right now in Ajin.
They will just repeat what they say, the Black Ghost.
Yeah, but they don't say it at the exact same time though, which is interesting.
Yeah, but they also
but they
sort of have a mind of its own, of their own.
Yeah.
Just K's. I don't know about the other ones because we really haven't got a lot of the other ones.
I feel like he's hiding. I feel like Kay's hiding something, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's hiding something. I think more so he is unaware.
Wait, did you say K or Kai?
Is it K or Kai?
No, there's K and Kai. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. I think he doesn't know it fully. Like maybe he's awakening to the fact that maybe that was in his past, because they do. Haven't they shown like?
They've shown the flashbacks of him and his sister and the Black Ghost.
So he maybe he does know about it already, but the thing is that because he's either within him so long that he doesn't remember it. But I don't think it's per se he's hiding it. I think it's just away from him. But
I think he's putting on what he's doing right now. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But
I agree with you because that first episode like that.
Kay's went through like in a couple episodes, he's went through like a major transformation.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, but just how he acts, like it's
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
different than the beginning of the series. Like
He's hiding so I
yeah,
think he's hiding his like what his power actually
yeah,
is.
and just how his
The
like
Black
sister
Rose.
describes him as like a monster.
Yeah,
and-
Yeah,
she hates him.
exactly.
She
He's
seems to
definitely
hate him.
he's definitely putting on an act for now. I think it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah,
happen.
no, that's probably one of the
And I've
coolest
heard
parts
the
of show.
manga of Ajin is like godlike, so I'm excited to see where the anime goes.
Yeah, you
it's
know what's
gonna-
funny? I want to read the manga for it, but I haven't gotten around to it because I've been reading everything else. But
Mhm.
yeah, Ajin. I just think Ajin has its ability to hook someone if they're willing to see past its horrible CGI. If you can see past that, you will be amazed by what story it has because I think it really does have cool characters and cool concepts. But you know how many people are like I made a thing about this on my channel where art for people is what hooks them. It's the judging book by its character.
Yeah, especially
you know,
now.
You're gonna do it no matter what. Even if you say I don't judge a book by its cover, you're gonna do it regardless.
Yeah.
You're gonna see that art and you're gonna be like, oh no, I don't think I want to watch this. Ain't for me.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because this show really deserves more love for it. But also, what doesn't help people too is the giant breaks it keeps having. Like I haven't really experienced that because I've watched it more later than you guys did. But
Yeah,
how
it's
many breaks did
delayed
it have?
usually by a day every time because
Yeah.
it gets fan subs because it's
Yeah.
going on Netflix.
Right, and that's an issue for some people. I mean, I know not everyone complains about that, but there are a lot of people who go, "Oh my god, a day! I can't. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch something else. I'm dropping." They do
I mean,
that.
last episode was worth it though. To be
Yeah,
honest, worth
yeah.
the wait. So good.
Yep. But I'm done with that. By the way, you can go on.
Mhm.
All right, fair enough. Jester, did you have some stuff to
Nah,
add on about it?
we just spoke about
Yeah,
most
yeah,
of
we
it,
pretty
so-
much
No, I'm
got
good.
Blade and Jester together
Okay.
and added on with me. So
Yeah.
All
that's
right,
true.
so the next one is Dimension W.
Which I have not
I
seen.
believe Blade has not watched it, correct?
No, I haven't seen it. Yep.
All right, so we'll start off with Memory.
okay, Dimension W. I'm gonna admit it's been sort of confusing for me.
Yeah.
Just diving into the actual world of Dimension W, getting to see both sides, like the one episode with the whole Lake Yasugami thing and the mystery with that. Like some points during that whole thing, I did not know what the fuck was going on. But
Yeah.
other than it being confusing, it's pretty entertaining for me. The animation's really good. I like the characters, especially Kyoma. I'd say he's like probably the best male character of this season. I don't know how you
Yeah,
guys feel about
Yeah.
that, but
It's
he's-
fair to
yeah.
say that.
and there's not really a whole lot of male characters this season that are really standing out, but
Agree with that, yeah.
Kyoma, I'd say
Yeah.
Kyoma is definitely my favorite male character of this season so
Yeah.
far. And I mean, other than that, other than a confusing story, and I mean, there's really nothing else to it for me. It's just like an enjoyable watch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I
I'd
want to
agree.
see where it goes from here because like we have like these people from Africa now coming over and and the whole I think it's going to get pretty interesting with this Easter Island thing because I was kind of hooked on that when it was like first talked about and like Kyoma's past and the war and all that stuff. So I'm kind of interested in that.
Yeah, that island is absolutely insane. Like,
Yeah,
what was
'cause
that?
those-
What was that? Like 5 like water spouts or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
and they
crazy.
just got shredded. And then that what was that? That orb that went
Yeah.
through the spaceship and didn't
Yeah,
even touch
and then
that one girl, but it obliterated everyone else.
the 2 guys sitting in the seats. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
mate!
This sounds so interesting.
It's a really fun series
But
to me.
it's like confusing but good. Like
yeah.
yeah.
Like everyone's complaining that it's rushed and stuff like that. To be honest, I don't care. Like as long as I'm enjoying it, I really don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it could be
Exactly.
better, but like if I'm still enjoying it, then I don't like mind as much. I mean, it's just really fun. I think Kyoma, as you said, I don't think he's the best male character. I just think he's the best character this season, in my opinion.
Mhm.
He's such a great character. Like how he acts and stuff like that, where he like calls the I forget her name,
piece
like,
of
just, like,
junk.
yeah, piece of junk, like all the time.
Mira.
She just,
I
she
think
just
her name's
accepts
Mira.
it. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But
She's always like you piece of junk.
yeah, I think
That's
the
messed
art
up.
style is really nice as well. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't have much to
Yeah.
say that Memory hasn't said because it is kind of confusing at times. But I just think it's really enjoyable. So that's what I gotta say.
Yeah, and the soundtrack is amazing too.
Oh yeah,
OST.
the opening,
Yeah.
best
Oh,
opening
yeah.
this season. Don't even care.
Yeah,
Ain't
just
no-
that
I
dance,
remember
dude.
You heard it
just-
from Jester himself.
Seeing
Best
that
opening
Confirmed.
so far.
seeing that opening for the first time when I just saw Kyoma just getting down with it, I was
Mate,
like,
That
oh
was
my god,
so good, man. I was hyped. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna enjoy this now, man. This
Yeah.
looks great. But
Yeah.
yeah, that opening, best this season, and probably one of my favorites of all time, to be honest, because that song is just so good.
Yeah, Studio Dive Foundation, they do some.
Oh yeah, man.
Because they did
The
Gangsta's
song
opening.
is sweet.
Yeah, they did Gangsta's opening, and that opening was sick. And
Yeah,
they've done a bunch of other openings that are amazing.
Yep. I could feel like this series would be hard for me to drop, especially because of the opening, but my like
How many shows
whole
can you
thing
say
on
that?
it is it's like very mixed for me. It's like I like it at some points and then I hate it at some points. It doesn't really have an in between for me. It's like I'll either really like the episode or really dislike the episode. So it's really hard for me to decide whether or not I want to keep going with it or drop it. At this point, there's no real point for me to drop it, but
Oh yeah, because
I-
things are getting real now.
yeah,
Easter
but
Island shit.
it is very confusing. I don't think I don't know, put their point across enough of what's actually going on, you know?
Yeah.
They kind of just say, well, here it is. If you can't figure it out yourself, then you're screwed pretty much.
Yeah,
and
they
then they
like
just go
they
on.
like they like briefly explained like that they were going between two dimensions, and that's all I got from it. So
Yeah. I mean, I feel like once we get in a little bit more, we're still gonna have that kind of thing, but we're gonna catch on a little bit of what all these like this dimension really is and all this
Yeah.
stuff, especially with like
the energy and all that.
yeah, especially with this last episode with the weird
Yeah.
the weird sphere thing or whatever.
Oh yeah,
In-
and Kyoma's past, that was just such
Yeah.
a good episode. Oh my
It-
god.
It was good, but I did see where people were coming from. They were saying it was pretty rushed. They didn't get too much out of it. I mean, I don't know.
That was kind of that got to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like
And
they
it-
definitely
watch
could have
this.
put more
in Dimension
detail.
Dimension
You really
W is a lot like it's darker than I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be. Like in that, I forget what episode it was. I think it was the second or third one when that guy just got like ripped in half, and you just see the look on his face. It was like it reminded me of like Brotherhood or some shit. Like when that fucking alchemy shit goes on. It's just
Yeah.
like the horrific scenes, and I was surprised. I was like, I did not expect Dimension W to be like this.
Yeah, it definitely has a dark tone to it
Yeah.
at some points. That's for sure.
You're saying it's
Yeah.
not for kids then? Oh boy.
No, it's definitely not for kids.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, it's going to be on Toonami. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about that?
Yep. Tanami is picking that up.
Yeah, I'm taping it tonight.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Grimgar 2 and something else.
Grimgar?
That's what someone said is Grimgar is getting a dub from Toonami. Or I don't know if it's going to be on Toonami, but just a dub period. Yep.
Yeah, I just know Dimension W is going to be on there. So
Yep.
Yeah, I have that taped. Like when I heard about that last week, because I was watching Parasite on there, I immediately went, "Oh my god!" and like went to my DVR and went, 1 o'clock. Okay, taping.
Yeah. Cause people are having an issue with the whole like dubs that are coming on while stuff is airing right now.
uh,
So I don't know. So did everyone get their point across they wanted to make about Dimension W?
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
yeah, because you guys went into super debate with it, not super chat with it.
All right, the next one is Phantom World. I can't remember which one of you had not watched that.
That's also not me. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry, everyone.
well, I
I'm
think
such a hard
Travis.
anime fan.
I think Travis watched one episode. He said.
Yeah, just all I've got to say is that limbo part. I dropped it straight after that. I ain't having any of it. Like it's just not a series that I know that I just know that I'm not going to enjoy that, and yeah, that's all I got to say.
Okay, so I also dropped Phantom World after the 6th episode, but here's the thing with it. It came off as having like a very interesting, intriguing premise, and I wish they would have actually done something with it.
Yeah.
But no, they just episode by episode by episode, these random phantoms pop up, and we just see our group of characters deal with it, and that's all there is to it. There's fan service, there's awesome visuals and animation. That's pretty much all what there is to the series. And the thing with it is like, why? I don't know what they were thinking with the episode by episode thing, with the random phantoms popping up. And
Yeah.
I keep hearing from everyone that
and how it
this
comes
series is
how
like
it
that.
comes across after the first episode.
Yep.
Like, it
Very-
sets us up with this interesting world and premise, and just the whole phantom thing, and I don't know.
That's
And
a
then they
shame.
just like shit it away.
That's a
Yeah.
shame.
And my brother told me, like, the most recent episode, I believe episode 8, there was like this perverted monkey phantom that was like groping the girls or something. So
Oh, there you go. Fan
Yeah.
service, everyone.
Yeah.
he's still
Fan
watching
service.
it.
I saw some screenshot and the main character was like painting on the girl's butt or something
Yeah,
like
I saw
that.
I saw a GIF of that.
Yep.
Wow.
Like, no, just no.
I don't know what kind of situation you'd be put in to actually do something like that, but it's at least you know they're taking some effort to come up with some creative fan service.
Is that really creative?
It's
Yeah, it is,
something,
it's
I'd
painting,
say.
isn't it?
All in
It's painting.
Picasso, man. Picasso.
Trust me, I could go to anime that has some disturbing, quote unquote, air quotes here, creative stuff when it comes to fan
Yeah.
service, and I don't want to do that.
I mean, I badly wanted to like this series. I honestly think it's a great idea. They just took the idea and chalked up too much fan service in it. If they cut it down a
From the
bit,
heralds.
it might be redeemable, but at this point, I think it's about lost. I dropped it at episode 5. I really, really tried to just love to hate it, pretty much.
Stick it out.
Yeah, I definitely really like the girl with the headphones. I can't remember what her name is off the top of my head, but
I don't remember her
yeah,
name.
she made me want to watch the series, and then
Oh yeah, Minase, that's her name.
it slowly was like a spiral effect and just kind of went downhill and didn't stop.
Yeah. And people are like disappointed because like Kyoto Animation or Kaio Annie, they usually do like really good stuff, and then this one's like down the shitter.
It happens though. I mean, every
Yeah.
company can't always produce like quality stuff. Once in a while, you're expecting that one
Yeah, I
crappy
think-
anime
I
to
think
come
they
out.
might
It's
be, like-
people flip out about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they have another series coming up or if they're working on something, but this may be one just to like for fans. It's disappointing to people is that like Kyoto Animation or Kaio Annie, they're known for doing really good stuff, and then this one just like went down the shitter
I had deja vu for a second. Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I think that the fan service, like, not the fan service to the extent where she's doing the limbo and stuff like that, but I feel like we could have dealt with the fan service from her using her power or whatever, because that was fan service enough. Like, she was groping on herself, doing all this stuff. Like, you didn't have to go above and beyond and start adding in random
They're
stuff.
probably just using this series as like a money maker.
Yeah,
It's also body pillows.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Like,
mean,
because they're out there already. I saw them on eBay. I saw them everywhere. My
Yeah.
posters, body pillows,
Yeah,
everything.
there you go. See, called it.
So,
I mean, in the end of the day, I'm sure some people will still watch the series and,
oh yeah, I know some people that are still watching. It's
and-
probably like a guilty pleasure for them or something.
yeah, enjoy it for the fan service
hope
or
it's just
whatever,
that.
but they had a good premise behind it. I wish they could have executed it, but
Yeah.
Welcome to every harem essentially ever made.
Yeah.
Where how many harems have you guys seen where they have some great premises, like better than most regular anime, but nope. Then the fan service comes in and you're like, oh god, here we go. Here we go. There goes the good plot. Goodbye.
yep, I definitely agree. Do you guys have anything else to say about Phantom World?
Nope. I
No.
can't say anything. I haven't watched
No,
it.
I didn't say
There's
it.
not much to it. So.
All right, and then the last
Yeah.
one would be Divine Gate. Someone else
One
hasn't
episode for
watched
me.
that.
I've
let
seen
me
one
go
episode.
throw up.
All right.
One episode. That was it.
All right, well, you can start us off, Memory.
Yeah, I gave it the 3-episode test and it didn't pass. It came nowhere near passing. It is the most cliche, boring piece of trash I've ever watched. And I mean, it should have been kind of expected for me because of the studio that's behind it, and
Yeah.
it's based off a game, and a lot of those don't really do good.
Who's behind it again? I'm sorry.
Studio Parrot, or however you pronounce it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if
God.
that's how you pronounce
All
it.
right,
That's
but
so-
like Studio Dean for me. God.
So that
Yeah.
was the one this season that was made off the game. I knew one
Yeah.
was, but I wasn't sure
yeah,
which
and
one.
those usually, in most cases, do not do good. So when you have that and the studio behind it, it was just destined for failure. And some people thought it was going to be good, but
Yeah.
nah.
I was one of those
It's
people hoping for
like-
it, but
I don't know what the story wanted to be. I don't know like what the hell is going on with it. Like I fell asleep so many times through like the
That's
first 3 episodes.
You can watch it.
like,
to go
or,
to
like
sleep,
not
man.
literally fell asleep, but like dozing off. Like I was like,
yeah.
fuck, dude, what is this show doing? What does it want to be?
I don't think there's like a clear picture when they like set this series out for everyone to watch. So it's like, how are we supposed to depict on whether or not we want to watch it by like a 3-episode or a 4-episode test, because we're not getting anything out of it. They could have painted out a picture for us all to kind of understand what was going on, and then we could have depicted whether or not we wanted to keep going from there. But
I agree with you.
I don't think it came to that.
You know, here's my.
I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if I had to say one thing that was good about
Sure.
the series, it would probably be just like the colors and the like how they're used, sort of.
Yeah.
And the animation is okay.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing I'll give it. Everything else is just down the shitter.
I'd agree. Definitely.
If I
Alright.
was to actually sum up this whole show, and I've only seen one episode, but I can guarantee you, like if I actually made a prediction about it, powers, villain, fight powers, done. There we go. That's the whole show. I mean, what was this show really trying? Like you guys, I agree with you 100%. What was this show trying to do? The first episode, I'm like, everything about this is cliche. There's
Yeah,
nothing here
it's
that
the
hasn't been
ultimate
done
cliche.
before. There's nothing here that
And, like-
the colors are nice, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's it.
And
That's it.
the second episode and the third episode, like the second episode focused on this one person and their just troubled backstory that's been used like so many times in anime, and then the same thing with the third episode. So I was like, fuck this, dude, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm
Get me
like,
out of here.
I plan to like I have to do it by definition of me watching even the first episode. I'm gonna watch the whole thing, and I am gonna review it eventually. But I have no rush to do it. Trust me. I saw that first episode. I saw how cliche it was, and I went, you know what? I got other stuff to watch, so I'm gonna start focusing on that stuff. And that was it. I
Yeah.
lost
Yeah,
interest.
there's not
in
much to say about Divine Gate besides it's trash.
All right.
it.
Yeah.
And
Fair
I'll
enough.
always stand by that.
All right.
The only thing I've got to say about it is I fell asleep halfway through the second episode. I'm not even joking. I'm not like memory I was dozing off. I actually fell asleep for about an hour. And then I woke back up and yeah, I just closed the page immediately because I'm not doing that. But that's all I'm going to say about it because no.
I
Look,
think that's enough.
From what
man.
I've seen, worst of the season. I know there might be something else that's worst of the season, but what I've seen, that is the worst.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so we'll go to wrap up this the main topic by giving our pretty much, I guess it'd be our midway opinion since about everything's halfway done. So, Memory, you can start off.
So on the season as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's Erased, there's Grimgar, there's Ajin. I'd even throw Konosuba in there in Dimension W that are... Well, Erased is like the cream of the crop. Like, it's at the top. And then
Yeah,
you have like Grimgar, Konosuba, Dimension W, and Ajin, which are like between like really good and good. If you guys get what I'm saying.
I
Yeah.
understand, yeah.
They're like in between. They're like, I don't want to, like, they're not decent for me, but they're not like, oh my fucking god, like this is so good. And then everything else besides that is like shit. If you're not including like sequels like Gate Season 2 and Iron Blooded Orphans, and because
Yep.
those are really good. So yeah, it's just like And that's the reason why Erase is like so high on Mal, because a lot of the other stuff from this season is just garbage.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So if you were to rate it like thumbs up or thumbs down for this season, what would you say?
Fair. That's not fair.
Thumbs up.
Like, come on, that's not fair. You gotta
I
give
mean,
a
I would be
broader
like,
spectrum.
I would be like, I would be
Thumbs up
like
and thumbs down.
between, I would be like between a thumbs down
Exactly.
and a thumb in the middle.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm just
like,
wondering if
my thumb pointing down diagonally. That's how I am.
yeah.
I'm not down or
Yeah.
the middle. I'm like literally like doing this with my hand right now.
Do you think the good outweighs the bad? Do you think there's enough good to outweigh the bad of this season? Or it's just hard to say?
It's hard to say.
All right, fair enough.
Like,
All right.
if I had to like rate this season between 1 and 10, like not going with the thumb thing,
Thank God.
I would,
Yeah.
I would probably say like 7.
All right, fair enough.
7 out of
You're
10.
more nice than I am.
7 out of 10. That's what I would say right now for this season. 7.5 out of 10, somewhere in there.
All right.
That's just me though.
All right, Blade, you can give us your opinion now.
So far, we have Erased, we have Grimgar, we have Ajin, we have Divine Gate, Phantom World, Dimension W. We have Koyomo Garatari, which I don't know. I think I'm the only one here who's seen that because I'm a huge Bakemonogatari fan. I love the whole series. I'm adding that to the season go because it is airing this season. But with everything as it is right now, we have a good mixture of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, we have a little fantasy, a little kind of cybernetic world stuff. We have a little sci-fi, a little bit of a, there is some nice, right. There is some nice mixtures of stuff. But here's the problem: all of it is hit or miss. You have stuff that's great, like you Erased, or you have Grimgar. You have stuff that's okay. Then you have and then you have stuff like trash, which is Divine Gate. But overall, if I would say, like, I'm the same way as you. Remember, I'd give it a thumbs like bottom down, where it's not fully down, but it's like
it's like diagonal.
Right, exactly. And probably Southwest. How's that? Southwest.
Yeah.
And
I love how we're going into detail about a thumbs down
about ours. Dude, like I was literally sitting here with my thumb,
thumbs up or thumbs down.
Like,
okay,
I was like not in the middle, not down, but like diagonal southwest.
Yeah, so I can see you making the hand gestures.
Yeah, I can see that as well.
Man, I wish we.
But and I'll take Memory's concept with this. With if it's a 1 through 10, I would have to honestly give it probably like a 6, maybe a 6.5. Because I honestly think that Erased and Grimgar are not enough to hold up the whole show. And I mean, like I said, Ajin's good too, but of course, people as a whole don't like it so far. So because of that, this season's not that great.
But depending how, like, if Grimgar like speeds up and if it just like totally blows my mind, and if Dimension W, like this whole Easter Island thing, like it's fleshed out like nicely, and with Ajin, and if it like ends off like, which is highly unlikely that every single series is going to end off like beautifully or like masterfully, like I would probably lean more towards an 8, but like I said, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. It's probably like highly unlikely.
Nah, I doubt it. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, overall though, that's my opinion. So I'm done.
All right, Jester.
Right. So, I'm not going to start off by saying all the anime that we've got this season. 2 of you have already said that, so.
So I think they know. I think they know.
Yeah.
I think this season is decent. It's not great, to be honest. If it was me, I'm gonna give it a 5, just because there's barely anything that stands out. Like there should be like 4 series that stands out like above the rest, but there's literally one that stands out like all the rest. There's no competition this season. It's just Erased. That's it. Like that's the only great one. I like the rest of them, but like Erased does stand out more than all the rest, and there's not much to say about the season because it's not great. It's not a good season in my opinion. I think there's nothing else for me to say because it's just not that great.
Like
and everyone's already said most of the stuff.
Like the fall, there was like so many series that were just on each other's levels, and they were all like really good. Like there was Noragami season 2, K season 2, Rakudai, One Punch Man. There was like
Yep.
Awari no
IQ.
Seraph.
Yeah, Awari no Seraph.
Yep,
Freaking
we definitely had a huge
shift.
decline, especially from there to here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like as I said, no competition, and that doesn't help at all. Like that is a bad thing. Like
Yeah, and
one
that's why, like I
standing out-
said, Erased is that's part of the reason why it's so high right now, because a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff is just shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And that I have a lot of hope for this spring though. So we'll see
Yeah,
what
Yeah,
happens.
hopefully.
that's gonna be a lot better, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll end off the topic with saying mine's probably different than everyone's here because they're not watching Akagami no Shirayukiheim second season or Snow White with the red hair second
Still
season.
have to watch. Yeah, forgot all about that.
I don't know if like Memory and Jester would like it just because of the pure fact that it's a romance anime that's, I guess, more aimed towards probably women because it's a strong male and female lead, which is definitely different because most of the time romance anime has a weak female character that's pretty much supported by the male, but it's almost like the roles are flipped in this series, so it's definitely refreshing. It's definitely my favorite romance anime. The first season of it is definitely one of my favorites of last season, so carrying over to this season, it was really nice. It definitely saved this season for me. I couldn't say it saved it enough to say this season was great, but I definitely say my top three are that, Grimgar, and then Erased. I'd have to say Erased is like there for me. It's just, I don't know. I like the concept of Grimgar more, but that's just
Thumbs up
my
or thumbs
opinion
down?
behind it.
Thumbs up or thumbs down, man. You're the one who made that.
Yeah, I definitely say it's a thumbs up just because of Akigami no Shirayukiheim, but if that wasn't there, then I'd definitely have a thumbs down for sure, and I probably
So
would
that
have
one
dropped
just
the
shines
season.
so much for
Wow.
you.
Yeah, holy crap.
It's
No,
it's like the illuminating light.
Yeah, it's really really good. It's really refreshing. But if that wasn't here, then I don't know if I'd be reviewing episode by episode reviews this season.
Wow.
All right.
Man.
Well,
Remember, he's like blown away, like, whoa, it's crazy.
so we'll get into the final topic of this podcast. This is one that's sent in by a viewer of the podcast, one of our friends. I don't know if Blade knows him, but it's Ku Colin, and his question was, how do you think anime will change in the future? Things like the possibility of being more CG, and will simul dubs become the norm? So we can start off with you, Memory. You can give your opinion on how you think this whole thing will change.
Well, with the simul dubs, I definitely think that's going to become the norm because I mean, what is Funimation doing now? 5 or 6 simul dubs for this season?
Yeah, they're doing a pretty crazy job of that.
And in the fall, I believe it was only like 3 or 4. So
something
they
like
keep
that.
increasing their workload, and Funimation's becoming more and more popular, especially with the Dragon Ball movie and all that stuff.
They're definitely on the ball with that stuff.
Psycho Pass movie coming out in March. So I have tickets for
Funimation is expanding, and that means more simul dubs most likely. So I definitely see that becoming the norm, and I even see it like reaching to maybe like 7 or 8 series a season getting simul dubbed by Funimation, just because of how they're expanding. And with the CG, there's like it's hard because there's some CG anime I like, and then there's some I don't like. I'm gonna say if like CG and 3D, like if CG 3D animation is done right, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like if I could have every CG series like Knights of Sidonia, I would be all game for that. But that's not going to happen. Ajin, perfect example, and that's the same studio. And
Body was pretty good though.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I like that the look of it a lot.
But God Eater kind of, did God Eater have a mix of both?
Yeah, it used
I'm not.
kinda-
I can't remember, to be
used-
I
honest.
kind of got that
No, it
vibe
used
from
both.
it, and
It
it's
used
been
both. It used
yeah,
it. It did what Berserk movies did, where
yeah.
it had the 2D when during like
I don't mind if
normal
they're
standing
like
talking people.
both.
Yeah, but
like,
that's
I think I'm using
Ufotable,
both.
so I'm not really surprised. Ufotable usually does like good stuff, no matter what they do. But I mean, if like I said, if CG is on the quality and the level of like a Knights of Sidonia type series, then I'm all game for it. And I definitely see it becoming like more series or getting the 3D animation because let's be honest here, most studios, I'd say every single studio is about making money. And if they can put out 3D, like with CG, the cost is going to be less. It's going to be easier to make.
Yep, and faster.
And yeah, and faster.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like I said, it's hard to say, man, because there's like so many CG series that are like terrible, like god awful, and then there's like a select few that are like really good. And it's highly unlikely that every CG series that is going to come out is going to be on that Knights of Sidonia level. So yeah, I'm fucking done. Dude.
Nice way to end it.
No, because I want to say some stuff, and then I'm like, ugh, I don't want to say it, so I don't say it. So
Well, do you think anything else will have a big change in anime besides those two things? Or just not really off the top of your head?
oh, a thing that I think is going to keep happening is we're going to keep getting these 12 episode series.
Yeah, I can see
Series
that
are
happening.
getting shorter. I think
That's-
that'll continue.
That's
Yeah,
definitely
I agree
a
with that.
fair thing that I'd say is probably happening as well.
Yeah. I mean, look at this season. Hold on, let me look real quick because I'm on my anime list. Ajin, 13 episodes. Bokudake, 12. 12, 12, 12, 12. I don't think there's one 25 episode series this season. That's
I
not a
really
sequel.
don't think so.
Which I'm kind of happy with to a point. I mean, I like shorter series.
I mean, it's kind
As
of
long as they get a
refreshing.
second season.
It's kind of refreshing, but
I'm more of
like-
a long running fan, to be honest. Like I
Yeah,
didn't used to be when I
literally
first started.
everything this season that's not a sequel is a freaking 12 or 13 episode series.
Yep, I think that's fair to
That is
say.
crazy. I just
Yep.
noticed that. Oh my god. Wow.
Yep. So,
Yeah, but I definitely see that still like happening. The it's going to be more of seeing 24 25 episode series or even long running.
all right, that's
It's
fair.
like cuz like with Boku no Hero, I know a lot of people want it to be like so long,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's going to be.
I might see it being like 25 episodes because if I'm not mistaken, the manga is pretty long, isn't it?
Yeah.
People are saying it's going to be like 50 episodes.
Yeah,
max,
I was probably around 50 or something like that.
Maybe 2 seasons,
Maybe.
something like that. Or you think they'll go for a straight run of 50 episodes?
I think they'll go straight around 50.
And it's
I would
Bones,
imagine.
so I mean Bones has done that a lot before.
Yeah.
Like with
Eureka
Soul
7.
Eater and Eureka 7.
Yep.
and- yeah, so and
Alright.
Full Metal. So
Yep. So Blade, do you have
Yeah.
any differing
Yes,
opinions?
I do have a few. I have a few. With first off, with I think the possibility of more CG. You know what my biggest issue with CGI or CG in general is that it really comes down to how much money and effort they put into it. That's one
Yep.
thing I noticed. You know, Berserk is a perfect example for this, and I tell people all the time where the first Berserk movie is unanimous for everyone going, "Oh, this is ugly looking. This is probably some of the worst CG they've ever seen." The second and third one, however, look a lot better. Like, I mean, night and day between the two. And that's because then you find out, oh, because the first one did so well and made so much money, they were able to pour more resource and money into the second one. So for me, CG could be used in the future more effectively, but the problem is how much are companies willing to shell out the money for it? Because if you have 12 episode series, the biggest thing about those is that they are hit or miss series. They're the ones that, you know, oh, maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll make a second season, maybe it won't, it'll be only 12 episodes for the rest of its life. And that's a problem because then that
Yeah.
means the CG is not going to look that good unless it's taken up by like Netflix or, you know, Hulu or someone that has actual money that they can fund it back into that.
Yeah, I think my issue behind assuming that as well, though, I don't think Netflix, so to speak, is really looking to make their own, like, they have their quote unquote originals, but it's just the series that they decided to pick up for
Yeah,
dubs, pretty much.
yeah. When they say original, it's like only on Netflix, pretty much, like
Yeah.
legally. That's
Yeah.
what I
Right.
mean.
But
I
I think I can see them doing it though. That's the thing is I
Yeah,
really
I don't
could
know
see
if
it.
they plan on doing a full swing into actually trying to produce anime, because if I'm not mistaken, they do actually have series on Netflix that are produced by Netflix.
Uh-huh.
Like, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know Hulu does it as well.
Yeah.
Right. But in terms of then the simul dubs, the only issue I have with simul dubs, and because I love dubs, as everyone knows here probably, I love dubs more than subs usually. And by the way, when I say that, I don't mean that I won't watch subs.
Disgusting.
I know I won't. Doesn't mean I don't watch subs. Like I know people flip out. Like, wait, what? How can you? I watch the majority of my anime in subs. Okay, I just prefer dubs if I can get the chance to watch them like that. The
Mhm.
biggest issue with that though is who actually is dubbing. Like Funimation has some great people, some great voice actors and actresses. I love their voice actors and actresses, but Sentai is hit or miss, where they have some good
Yep.
ones and some
Yeah,
horrible ones.
I agree.
And like I'm watching this series that I just bought recently called Nobunaga the Fool, and it has some of the worst dubbing I've ever heard in my life. Like, it's bad. It is really really bad, to the point that I actually have to I put it back to sub because I can't watch that in dub. I honestly can't. But what scares me about the simul dubs though is speaking what you guys were saying about how now there's 7 seasons they're dubbing right now currently with the airings of all this stuff coming out. If they start having this issue where they don't start hiring more like actual voice actors and actresses, you're gonna hear a lot of the same people in a lot of the same shows over and over and over, and that's
Yeah.
not an issue per se all the time for some people. But imagine hearing like Yuri Lowenthal or um, Stephen Blum or I can't Monica Rial, for example,
Yeah.
in every single thing. They're already in a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but every single show,
Kind of
as main
repetitive. It would get kind of repetitive. You're saying?
right? That's the biggest issue with it.
Yeah.
So, could you say, since there's obviously a incline in anime recently, especially in America,
Right.
maybe not so much in Japan, but America definitely is getting bigger into that stuff with like Attack on Titan and all this stuff getting really huge in America. Could you see them taking a route kind of like the Studio Ghibli movies where they use actual like real actors,
Yeah.
not like just voice actors?
Yeah, I really could because I mean, you're starting to see that with like Studio Ghibli has every one of the movies having some grade A actors in there
Yep.
doing voice roles, and some of them are actually pretty good. Some of them are not. I don't think like I had this discussion with someone long ago, and I won't go too far into it, but I don't think all actresses and actors in general can be voice actors because there's a whole different dynamic to it, where instead of being in front of a camera with other people, you're now in a little booth with a little mic in front of you, reading off a script to try to match your voice with someone else's.
Yeah, I feel like it's creativity behind their mind.
Right.
If they kind of have this certain mindset, then I feel like they can do it, but I can
But
see where you're coming from.
but I definitely could see that if you start having like anime become huge. Like I mean, I know people say, "Oh, anime is huge in America." It's still not big. Like I'm
Yeah.
25 years old. I've seen the growth of anime firsthand already when it comes to how it is in the West now. It's getting big, yeah, but it's still not that huge. For example, I went to Best Buy the other day, right? Best Buy used to have, at least in the places I've went to in New York, it used to have like small sections dedicated to anime. They were really tiny sections. Now, because of Anime Day, which came out last week, all of a sudden they actually started doing like these huge sections where I actually saw them removing everything that was in this one section to open up a whole different anime section. And
Yeah.
now it's huge. It's got over like 50 titles there. And I'm like, holy crap, what happened? This was like 2 days ago. There was like Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Fairy Tale, and then like three other movies that were old, like Appleseed and I think Ghost in the Shell. That was it.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything. Now all of a sudden they have the newest things. Tokyo ESP came out, Evangelion 3.33, stuff like that. And that's amazing. But so you can have where it becomes huge, and then they could have big voice actors and real people. But right now, what scares me is, like I said, it's really having the same people in every role is going to be kind of tiring, I think, to a point. I don't want to keep hearing the same people doing the same type of role all the time.
Yeah.
Even Japan doesn't have that.
I definitely think that's an issue, and maybe that's part of the reason why a lot of these people don't pick like pretty much everything up that's good and dub it because of the whole issue of finding a voice actor they think fits the role.
Right. No, it's very true. You have a lot of shows that, people complain about, oh, why don't we get a dub version of it? But, think about it. Would you really want one? There's
Yeah.
sometimes where, I don't hate subs. Like I said, I really do like subs still. And there's sometimes I'm like, you know what? This is why I can understand this is subs, because you dub it and it'd just be terrible. But there's a lot of room for the future of anime, I think.
There is definitely.
It's just how much, I think it's going to be really down to how we do, like, because Japan has its merchandising, has its body pillows, statues, video games and all that we don't see over here. If we start applying that same thing to over here, we can actually see a boom in it. Like, all of a sudden you start having a lot more merchandise being the West sold. It'd be interesting. Besides Attack on Titan stuff.
People say this whole thing about a decline in anime. Do you think that's true? Because in my opinion, I think they're getting more people from America, so it's kind of helping out the whole state of anime, but that's just my opinion behind it.
Sales are down in Japan everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
no, a lot of shows are.
Yeah, does
because
that...
Roka no Yusha sold like 200 copies in its first week.
Yeah. Does that make you feel like anime is dying, or is it just...
No, you know what I think it is? Anime isn't dying per se. I just think that what they're doing with it is hit or miss. Like, a lot of shows, the one thing about the 12 episode thing that we were all talking about a couple minutes ago, having 12 episodes is cool and all, but I also agree with Jester that they need some shows that have more than 12 episodes. You need some that have...
Hunter needs to return, like, right now. And it'll be back.
Because, but you really do, no kidding, but you really need those, because those are also what keeps people watching and paying and buying those type of shows. Because One Piece, I mean, the sales for that are amazing, but if you have a 12 episode series that doesn't have a conclusion because it's based off light novels, people go, well, I don't know if I want to spend $40 on buying this, or I don't want to spend any money on this in general. I'll wait till like it's $5 or $10 in a bargain bin somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not declining. It's just that I think they need to change the strategy of how they sell it. That's the problem with it.
I agree with that.
But there is a lot. I mean, come on. Saying anime is declining. I mean, there's a whole culture of anime in this world that's just growing in size and scale. That's to me silly.
Yeah, I agree.
And that just proves with freaking One Punch Man and all that.
Those shows are, I know that people have different opinions on One Punch Man.
Well, I told Habit, I think it's good for the industry.
No, and I agree with you 100% when we talked about that the other day. You need those shows because, like Death Note, like Attack on Titan, like Sword Art, they bring in people. I had one of my dad's coworkers the other day actually look at my channel for anime recommendations. He's like a 35-year-old, 40-year-old guy.
Wow.
And yeah, that was pretty cool. And I'm like, well, he watched, but here's the kicker: Attack on Titan, and he watched that and loved it, and was like, I need to watch more anime. Yeah. And he started getting into other stuff.
Yeah, and then when you start off watching some of them series and you get into more, you look back on those series you started with, and you're like, oh, maybe these weren't as good as I thought like they were when I originally watched them. So like that's the thing with like One Punch Man. I guarantee a lot of people like One Punch Man was one of their first anime because of just the hype and the buzz around it. And they were like, oh, I want to check this out. This is like making fun of superheroes pretty much. So they get into it, and now they're going to be watching more anime like this season, whatever's coming in the future. And they're going to look back on One Punch Man. They're going to be like, maybe some people, they're going to be like, that was so stupid. Like, compared to what I'm watching now, like, this just totally blows it away. And that's why I say it's good for the industry, because like these anime get people into the world of anime and watching more stuff and just expanding and getting out there.
Gateway anime.
Yeah.
I need to watch more anime. I need more anime. What else we got? I need more.
All right. So did you get your point across that you wanted to make, Blade?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Jester?
I think everyone said most of the things, to be honest. I'm just going to say I don't want like it's fair enough. People like the shorter series and stuff like that. And I agree with what Memory said and whatnot. Like, there is going to be a lot more. But I don't want that. Like, I want a lot more long-running series. Like, when I first got into anime, I was like, I'm never going to watch a long series because it takes up too much time, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, same thing.
As soon as I watched Hunter x Hunter, then I was hooked on longer animes. Like I watched like all of One Piece, and like I'm currently watching like 2 long series. Like I'm kind of like Hunter x Hunter. The original one is pretty long. That's like 66 episodes. I'm watching
Yeah.
Hajime no Ippo, which is the first season's like 72 episodes or something, and then like
Wow.
there's like 2
Yeah.
other seasons
that.
after that with like 26 episodes. So I'm like a big fan of the long running ones, and I want a lot more long running ones. It gets people involved, and especially if they're like really good as well. Like you'll want to watch them like every week. Like it will sell really well, especially like when they're good. Like this Boku no Hero, or however you say it. Like
Yeah.
that's going pretty well. That's long as well. Like the manga stuff like that. I just feel like it will be even better if they bring more long running series into it. But yeah, the shorter series are good, but I feel like with long series, like you get a lot more connected to it as to whether you're like watching like a 12 episode one or something. Like the characters are good, but like once you watch like One Piece or something and get connected to those characters throughout the whole thing, it's like a massive adventure with them pretty much. Like with Hunter x Hunter, like the journey is just so good to go on. Same with One Piece, stuff like that. Like
Right.
I just want all of them. And in terms of dubs, I'm not a big dub fan, but if you like, there's going to be a lot more dubs. I agree with that. But that's all I've got to say, really. Everyone said most of the things in detail, so I don't think I need to go into more detail.
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. So I'll wrap up the topic with I just have a little bit of opinion on CG. I just think the kind of
No, we don't. We didn't know.
We might be here forever.
the whole way they're doing it right now, it's obviously not working in their favor. There needs to be advancements in the way they're doing this. There needs to be advancements in technology. Even though we're very advanced at this point with technology, it's still not there to really have like a fluid, like really nice watch compared to
Yeah, it's going to take
things.
some time if it does get good.
I mean, I do agree that in the case of when they kind of mix the two art styles, it kind of makes it a little bit better, but
Yeah.
no, I think that's
full out 3D or whatnot. It's like meh.
But there's some series that do a mix and they're complete trash. So
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
that's the main issue behind it, especially if a lot more companies start going in that direction. They have to keep in mind that they're straying away from what's normal, what people expect from anime, all of this stuff. They're venturing into something that we haven't really explored yet, so that's definitely something to take into consideration. But if any of you have any final thoughts, you can chime in if you need to.
I think we hit it. I think we hit it right on the ball.
All right, well,
There we go.
I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. You can check everyone's channel out. Either you can type it in on YouTube. It should all be on the overlay of the video and also in the description below. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you don't want to keep YouTube open, you can always open it up on SoundCloud. Pretty much make sure you follow the Twitter. We'll always have updates on when we're having these podcasts, all of that stuff. And don't forget to put topics in the comment section below. But
Any questions,
yeah, see you
Get a free
guys.
shout out.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bikini Warriors.